If you enjoy listening to adventure stories, then you should visit thedihedral.com. You will find stories from other members of the community and read about climbing, life, and the outdoors. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's connect and climb on!
Climb on! Hi, everyone. This is Carrot, welcoming you back to another episode of the Dihedral Podcast. Today, we're going to spend some time talking to someone from our local climbing community who has embraced the notion of community since the day he walked into the doors of our local climbing gym. In addition to climbing, Maxwell Hartong is also a competitive ninja warrior and a dog lover. Hopefully, Max can explain how dogs, community, climbing, and ninja warrioring can overlap. Max, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Carrot. It's a pleasure. I've been a fan for a while since I heard about your podcast.
Oh, good. That's going to make it super simple. So we have a few things that we specifically want to concentrate on, but I thought we could kind of take them in this order: climbing, ninja warrior, and then dogs. If you think that works for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So as far as climbing goes, you went from like coming in to climb for your first time to being the manager of a climbing gym pretty quickly. Can you talk about your journey from like walking into the doors to now, managing a gym?
Yeah, so it was crazy though. One time after work, my wife Haley, shout out to Haley, she one of her coworkers invited her to go to the local climbing gym. And I hadn't climbed since college, just a local rec center rock climbing gym, just a casual time here and there. And she's like, hey, you should come. It's really fun. So that second night in a row after her coworker invited her and I came, I was like, okay, I'll try this out. Got on the first auto belay, went all the way up to the top, and I like flashed it. But I was scared to let go. So the things I tell people all the time about like going up a little bit, sitting back, letting go, getting used to the machines, I did not follow my own advice. So I'm very preaching about that. But half the gym was saying, hey, it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. So that's always a good story to tell those first timers. So
I think so. All right, so you go in, you got your wife Haley and her coworker got you in there. You're stuck at the top of an auto belay. You finally let go. Well, what happens next?
No, then I just was ready to just nonstop go. After I got that first fall, it was just keep on going. And I just did as much as I could. And I was so sore that first day. And we kind of slowly got hooked on that part where we were just doing like a couple of day passes. Then we were like, oh no, this is adding up. We might as well get a punch pass. Then we got a punch pass and we used through that like within the first probably 2-3 weeks. Then we were like, you know what? Let's full commitment. It's 5 minutes from our house. We're here enough times. Let's get the membership. After we got that membership, we got our own gear and then started taking top rope classes, then league classes, and have kind of just grew from there. We loved doing the level up classes also there. Before I started working there, doing those just to kind of get better. And she always calls me out on my technique, so I think that's always funny because I think she's a better climber than me. I just happen to climb better grades than her, and she blames me on my height for that. Right. So I think we've came a long way from that first initial auto blade where I got stuck up there.
Oh yeah, now I mean, just to throw into that story on your way to working at the gym and eventually becoming manager, there is the part where you guys won a bouldering league championship. Like that's impressive too, right?
Man, we had some tough competitions. We didn't know how it would turn out. The team kind of slowly got together because me and Haley wanted to team up with this other guy, Austin, who we climbed with all the time. And then he invited 2 other people and the team kind of slowly developed. And we happened to just have a huge range of people that really push themselves. And we had that mindset of winning, but of course having fun of like we wouldn't be doing rock climbing if we didn't love it. But that mindset of all being competitive and all pushing each other and want us to get higher than what our grade was. It was really, I saw a lot of us kind of come out of our shell when it came to bouldering and how we wanted to climb overall. So I was pretty happy. Now we have to just defend our title.
Awesome. It's coming up. I might get a team and start coming at you.
That's what I'm
that is
worried
unless I
about.
can join your team.
You know a lot more people than we do.
All right. So you get hired. You get hired at the gym, and you weren't working there long, and now you're the manager of the gym. How does that cut into your climb time?
So first I was part-time, and then I decided, I was like, you know what, like this is somewhere where I enjoyed being all the time. It doesn't, like, it's not stressful. It's being around people. Like, I'm getting paid to be around people that I enjoy seeing. And it's like, what's better than that? I get to see people's progress, and seeing that progress, honestly, makes my shift so much better when I'm seeing someone that's struggling on a project and then crush it. But on climbing wise, me and my wife try to get on the same days off. So we try to go on those days, and then I climb random stuff outside. So my wife was yelling at me the other day because I was climbing a tree and trying to swing off of branches at her work. So training I can always find everywhere, but I tried to go with her because it's kind of like a special thing we have also. So we kind of help push each other. And I think with our schedules, it's just a matter of finding those times. So it's usually in the mornings, but yeah, definitely always fit in time for climbing and training.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you is seeing you at the gym and how supportive you are to others. I mean, there's some people who are indifferent or don't care or just there because they think it's a cool job, but there's a sincerity when you're pulling for people to try their hardest. You know, other people don't want to see that, but I don't know. That kind of leads me to my next question, though. There's something about the climbing community that's just different. So do you think you could put into words what's so appealing about the climbing community?
So I think the climbing community, and I've heard this from other people going to other gyms and coming to ours, where, and I preach this all the time, where it's just supportive. You can hop on a route that you've been working on and someone hop on after and do it, and then tell you tips right after, whether it's someone on a guest pass or whether it's a member that's been there 10 years, that they're just there to help each other, even if they just met, and then they find their climbing partner long-term, or climbing partners long-term, that they went from just climbing alone to the big old group. Like, I can vouch that we've done that, as me and Haley, after being there so long, that slowly we built people that we built connections with in that community, that if I were to have a big event, I would honestly invite those people over anybody else, because I feel closer to them, even though I may only see them at the gym. Because I know they're sincere, but I also know that that community will have your back and you'll have theirs.
That's 100% true. I agree completely. So I want to ask you, what do you do as a manager to make sure that appeal, or that community appeal, is impressed upon others, like with your staff or with new climbers? What do you do to make sure that others realize that that's how climbers work?
So I just want to make sure that the staff knows, hey, like, these people just got membership. Why don't you tell them or introduce them to another people that from you, or another member that's there all the time, that can be like, hey, like, if you ever need a catch, they're here. If you ever need tips, they're here. If you ever need tips, pull us aside on shift when it's not crazy, and we'll be there to help you, because we want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed yourself. So I think that just all around camaraderie, in that supportiveness that the staff has for the members and the new people that are getting into climbing, and then the members and guests and punch passers have for each other, get spread to where it's so, like, it's that only good positive vibes when people come in, where they don't feel like they're being judged, and that they feel like they're being supported, whether they're 5 years old or whether they're 50 years old.
No, that's really sweet, Max. So who is your least favorite climber in the gym? No, I'm just joking. Don't answer that. I don't want you to call anybody out. But I do want to know, is there something that climbers do in the gym now that you're managing that you're just like, that you find it annoying? I mean, obviously you can't help chalk falling on the floor. But is there something that you're like, come on, you guys can do better here or here?
I think it's more just making sure that everyone's safety wise, between making sure double checking each other still, even though if someone's been climbing for 10 plus years, that they're double checking each other, making sure that they're clipping in right when they're lead climbing, just doing all those little things that people look past once they get in that comfortable state of climbing. Because like I said, once people feel like they've been climbing for so long, those little mistakes get made compared to a newer climber that's very hesitant and every little thing they're triple checking.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the main things, because one little twist of the rope can change from trying to lower someone on lead around the carabiner. That happened the other night. So you just got to make sure every little thing is perfect.
That's a great point. Now, exactly who are you talking about when you say that? I'm just joking. Don't answer that. Don't say it. Don't say any names. I'm just messing around. That's actually a really good point. I think you're right. Safety is a thing, and climbers sometimes do get comfortable and miss something that they wouldn't have otherwise missed. So I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about American Ninja Warrior. Is it American Ninja? How do you verb that? American Ninja Warrioring. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I just say ninjaing. I don't even do the whole thing.
Ninja.
Sometimes, yeah. Ninja. I think I did one on a post recently where I just put ninjaing as the caption, where I was like, don't need to make it too complicated. People understand.
Yeah, ninjaing is good. I'm sold. We can ride that for sure. So would you say there's a similar level of community atmosphere in ninjaing as there is in climbing?
I honestly do. I mean, the other day I went to train and my wife was there, doing pictures and videos for me to just, for submission video, for social media, all that. And I went to go hop on the first obstacle, the cliffhanger upstairs, just to warm up. And Daniel Gill, the winner from, I believe, 2 years ago, was like, oh, that's where you're starting out at? I was like, oh, I just finished climbing. I'm pretty warmed up. I was just going to hop on this first. He's like, crush it, man. And it's like, just like the person that's won it 2 years ago, and it is like a American Ninja Warrior legend, just doing that as he's walking downstairs to me. It says a lot.
That's really impressive. Yeah. I agree. That's awesome. Just for people who may not know, can you explain a little bit about what American Ninja Warrior is?
American Ninja Warrior started out kind of a while back and wasn't as big. Started on the G4 channel, just as simple, like almost overseas obstacle courses. And then slowly grew, and then the American kind of took over. And then the American Ninja Warrior kind of athletes started to slowly grow, almost like celebrities or professional athletes like you see like on TV or in professional organizations. And then from there, ninja gyms have popped up all over the country and overseas. International Ninja Warriors, not only from Japan, but in Germany and Australia, Poland, stuff like that. And the community and people that are getting into it is just growing each year. And I think the gyms popping up everywhere is helping that. And it's giving people that maybe didn't have a spot or have that certain sport like basketball, football, baseball, etc., is giving them that chance to kind of get out of their shell.
Yeah, that's a really good description. It is really like some really intense obstacle courses in the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you watch it on TV, you see some pretty, like, some of these athletes make them look easier than what they are. I mean, when I compete locally at some of the ninja gyms, between the ones that like in Austin or here in Houston that I've done, just those little ones, the obstacles are a lot tougher than once you get on them. Between the balance, between the upper body, it's just a lot of making sure that you're full. It's almost like climbing, your full body is ready for anything, because you never know. Just kind of like rock climbing, when you're going for that next hold, you don't know how it's going to be. You don't know that transition from that one move to another when you're ninjaing.
So what exactly are your goals for American Ninja Warrior? Like, where are you setting the bar for yourself? What do you want to achieve?
The end goal is to get on the show. I mean, back in season 11, when they contacted me after my submission tape and they were like, hey, we need more ninja footage, and then I sent in more and didn't hear anything back, where I'm like, oh man, that was that close. The end goal is to get
That's
on the
close.
show. Of course, I would always want to hit a buzzer and keep on going, but just to be on
Yeah.
the show would be a dream. Honestly, if I got contacted to be almost like a course tester before ever like
Yeah.
doing that, that would be cool. Just that stepping stone. The end goal is, of course, the show. But if I happen like next year get a call for to be a course tester, that would be amazing experience. And just to be like, okay, wow, I'm that much closer. And then of course
Yeah.
competing locally when I can, just getting any like amateur world ninja league / national ninja league kind of exposure and practice, and then just getting better overall. I mean, I enjoy the sport, and of course the show's the end goal, but just hopping on, it's like a big playground for me, and I get so tired out the first 30 minutes because I want to hop on everything, and I like Haley has to say, hey, take a minute to breathe.
Yeah. So is it true that when you're a famous ninja warrior and you hit the buzzer and win the championship and you're on TV, that that you're gonna remember the little guys, like you're gonna remember the dihedral back?
Oh, you act like you're
couple
never gonna
seasons
talk
earlier?
to me again. I feel like this is gonna happen no matter what. We're gonna be having a second interview, being like, Max, remember that interview a while back ago? You're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's right. That was when before. Now look at you.
So we don't have to worry about you forgetting about us. Is that
Oh no,
true?
I love my community at Inspire, and I know that
Yeah.
what's it called? It'll keep growing, and then I'll still keep doing my training there, from rock climbing to over in the basement doing little things.
Yeah. Now might sound like a dumb question, but you're the expert, so I feel like I have to ask it. So don't
Let's
judge
hear
me.
it.
I'm just curious. To be an American Ninja Warrior, do you have to be an American, a ninja, or a warrior?
So we actually just had a guy competed this season. I saw that's compete on like 8 seasons of Ninja Warrior Germany. So I wasn't sure if he was German or not, but I was like, huh, that's interesting. So I think yes, I think it asks in the submission application the American, but the Ninja
Okay.
Warrior. I mean, I've seen people that have gone on that had like maybe 2 months of actual ninja training and all that. So, but that's what's nice. They have Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior via Poland, via Germany. So it's still that
Cool.
international love and attention that it can get, and everybody can do it.
That's really sweet. So I wonder if you could explain to our listeners who may not be familiar with dogs, what is a dog?
A dog is a 4-legged, sometimes less. I have seen some 3-legged and 2-legged
It's true.
animals that are either naked or covered in fur, mostly covered in fur, that give you just love and affection all the time. And that no matter what, when you get home or when you see one, they're usually there giving you all the love and affection. As me and my wife have 4 of them.
And you worked for a long time with dogs, that's true, right?
Yeah, I was a vet tech for 3 years. I loved it. It did get stressful at times, but I did enjoy it. And just that love for animals. I was one of the vet techs at my old clinic for a pig neuter, so that was pretty cool to be the surgery tech for that. One of those lifetime experiences. The one doctor's last time brought in lemurs just to hang out. Yeah, so hung out and got some pictures with some lemurs. So that occupation definitely gave lots of opportunity to see the like spend time and take care of animals. And like I said, I may not do it anymore, and maybe way back in the like future I'll go back to it, but it's just one of those times where I just felt like sometimes you just got to put all your focus in somewhere that you're not as stressful and that you're happier at.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. A job like that seems like it's got extreme ends of the spectrum. Like you have awesome dogs who just want to like lick your face, but not all dogs make it. You know, when you're working in a clinic or something like that. I mean, there's sad stories too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you go from dealing with a bunch of puppies or kittens that come in just for their first shots or puppy visit to doing what I've done 4 euthanizations in one day before. That was like back to back to back.
Too much.
So, I mean, at that point I was used to it, but still sad at the end of the day between seeing the dog or cat suffering, like ending that suffering, and then of course the owners. That makes it rough, especially animals that either I've worked with or that are similar to mine. So
Yeah, that's heartbreaking, really. But why do you hate cats?
I don't hate cats. I there's always that question, dogs versus cats. And you should just include this on every episode
All
that
right.
you have when you interview someone. Just be like, do you prefer dogs or cats? And see if someone even throws out a C answer like ferrets or something. But
Yeah.
I'm team dog if I had to pick a dog versus cat, and my wife's cats. So,
Oh,
but we
okay.
have 5 cats, and I love all of them, no matter how much I pick on them, and mainly to mess with my wife. But I love all of them, and they love me so much, even though I mess with them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cats are all right.
cats are all right. They
Is it
definitely the one of our cats I always say is my ninja cat that he parkours on everything.
Oh, all right. I like him. What's his name?
Tuna.
Oh yeah, Tuna's a great name. So you don't have to say this. I don't want to put you on the spot, but of your 4 dogs, do you have a favorite?
So I think I would be lying if I said I didn't. There was one I had before my wife, before any of the other ones, and it was Chico. He's my oldest Chihuahua mix, roughly, and he's believe 16, 17 years old.
Oh
And
my gosh.
he's an old man, and we used to go just me and him to a dog park together and all that. So he's still
That's so
kicking,
sweet.
but yeah, he's
That's
probably my
amazing.
favorite. And that's the one that when me and my wife first met, she's like, y'all look exactly alike.
I can see it. I mean, I can imagine it, really.
Yeah. Oh, I'll show you a picture next time.
All right, we'll put it up on the website.
Just a side by side.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon, but I thought we could play a game before we parted ways called Get to Know Max. If you're interested in like really delving into some personal stuff, I mean, really digging deep. Would that be all right? I mean, you're gonna have fans listening to this, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're a little bit too afraid to ask the really hard hitting questions. So, would you be willing to open yourself up to them here on today's show?
Let's hear it. It might take me a minute if there's sometimes a complicated question or I'm like put on the spot, but I got it. I'll answer.
If it's too personal though, just say pass. Like I get it. There's some questions I wouldn't want to answer. Some of these are maybe too much.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, the first one is probably the hardest one. What's your favorite food?
Food is salmon.
Oh, nice. So what are we doing? Like salmon? Are we having a vegetable on the side, or just
So it's usually a vegetable, broccoli, corn. Usually salmon and corn are my go-to. Like you can't go wrong with that.
All right.
And then cookie dough for dessert.
Ooh, just raw cookie dough. All right. I'm glad you asked the dessert. That was actually my next question. So we're going salmon, corn, cookie dough.
Yep.
All right. That sounds like
now usually it's like the cookie dough ice cream just because it's a little healthier compared to straight cookie dough, but I would rather eat cookie dough.
I agree. The cookie dough in the ice cream is not as good, right? And I also wonder this. We should do this sometime if you're interested. We'll buy some cookie dough ice cream. We'll melt out the ice cream and keep the cookie dough, and then we'll try to bake little cookies. Do you think it would work?
Oh, that's great. I like that idea. I was like, normally I do that anyhow. I eat all the regular ice cream around the cookie dough and just save all the cookie dough for last and just make that as my final kind of taste bud. So I'll just eat the cookie dough pretty much.
Let's bake it.
Let's do it. I'm down to try it.
It'll be fun. If it doesn't bake into a cookie, I'm calling like false advertising.
Yeah,
like
and we're gonna call the ice cream company
the ice cream police. All right, this one is also very difficult and personal, but maybe you'll be okay answering it. Who's your favorite Detroit Piston of all time?
Richard Hamilton, because I used to wear a mask like that after I broke my nose when I was in middle school. So I looked up to him because he was a OG, in my opinion, of wearing the mask, and he was an amazing player. So Richard Hamilton has kind of had a special place in my heart from Detroit Pistons standpoint.
That's great. Of all the Detroit Pistons, he might be the best at American Ninja Warrior. I mean, it was constant motion.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, between his pick and rolls and going around and from the mid-range to the threes, how he's very underrated in his time. Nobody's giving him the credit that credit's due.
I agree. All right.
Did that throw you off, me answering so quick?
I was really impressed. It did throw me off a little bit. That was such a good answer.
Remember, basketball was my first love on sports.
All right, so we got basketball, gymnastics.
Oh, I played soccer for 8 years.
Oh, all right.
I did karate for a few years.
Oh, you did it all.
I did football, cross country, and track.
Literally everything.
As much as I could, yeah. That's why I said sports has always been in my life.
But you gave it all up
before I did climbing, huh?
But you gave it all up for climbing and ninja.
Climbing and ninja, yeah. Right. I'm like, those two are the full body mental where I get the most enjoyment.
I can see that. All right, this one's going to be another hard one. These are heavy hitting questions. What is your favorite thing about your wife, Georgia Haley Cakes? That's your wife's name.
My favorite thing about her. Mm-hmm. I think that love and care. I mean, for animals too. It's like we kind of have that bond, and that explains why we have so many animals. Is because we kind of fell in love and got together when we met at the dog boarding facility I used to work at. Yeah. That she manages now, and it was like slowly building our relationship, and it's because of our love for the animals. And I feel like that's something that really, no matter how much I mess with her about her favorite animals, that we just, that love and care, even though I'm not a vet tech anymore, that natural, like I said, love and affection that we both have for them, and want, their happiness more than ours. Like at the end of the day, if we had $20 and we had no food and the animals had no food, we would make sure the animals are taken care of before us.
All right, Max, you're not supposed to make us cry. So
I'm just being honest. We've talked about this all the time. Me and her, we're like, at the end of the day, as long as they're good, we're good.
That's so nice. Max, who's your favorite pro climber?
Pro climber? Kyra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
strong.
Yeah. So like, she's like tiny, but she's very like strong.
Yeah. She's a great example of like, just because you're small doesn't mean you can't be like completely dominant. That's a great one. All right.
And she's not like, she's had some rough times recently, but it's like the work she's still putting in from what I've seen like on social media and all that. It's like the fact that she's not giving up in her posts about like, maybe I had a rough time from the Olympics to the Worlds recently. It's like, I'm still going to keep pushing and not giving up. So
she's a beast. All right. Who's your favorite American Ninja Warrior?
I would have to shout out, because I did fangirl when I met her, was Barkley.
She's the best. We had her on the show.
Strong. Yeah. I have a hoodie. It's in the car. Barkley Strong. I wore it after my first ninja competition when I got first place. And
yeah,
I
she's
tagged
so
her, and I wanted to make sure, and we talked, and she told in a comment one day that she can't wait for us to compete against each other one day on the show. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's the best. I love that choice. I'm glad I asked that one. Okay. What's your favorite podcast?
The Hydro. That's a silly question.
All right. Favorite type of dog?
Okay. Everyone's going to hate me, but I'm team Chihuahua. Like everyone said that's the one they hate the most, but I love Chico or Chihuahua, and I have a thing for small dogs. Like they're my favorite. So team small dog plus Chihuahua.
I like that. If anybody hates you over that, then I feel like they need to like maybe meet some Chihuahuas. They could be really cool.
Well, I'm like when she first met Chico, she was like, "Oh my gosh, like he's nothing like the usual Chihuahuas I met. He's like not barking. He's quiet. He's chill." I'm like, yeah, like they have the bad reputation. Not every single one's the same.
That's a good point. Don't judge a book. Don't judge a Chihuahua by its cover. Do you think that is true?
Exactly. That is perfectly accurate.
All right. So Max, before we go, can you tell people how they can follow your journey into American Ninja Warrior stardom?
I mean, hopefully one day when you see me on the TV, follow me on Instagram at The Inspired Ninja. And I try to post as much as I can. I share other ninja stories as much as my own posts on training and hopefully progress. One day you see I get the call in all caps under a picture or video.
It's gonna happen. It has to.
Yeah. tagging
So
at the dihedral and at Inspire and all that.
we'll repost it all. All right. So tell us again, what's the Instagram name?
At the Inspire Ninja.
All right. I think that's really fitting. What a great name.
At 30, even though there have been older comparatives and that I'm still chasing a dream, plus then between being a member at Inspire for so long and now working at Inspire, I thought it was only fitting. Got to represent on both ends.
It's perfect. So honestly, that's it. We're gonna have you back on when you hit the buzzer, and you're gonna pretend like you remember us. Does that sound okay?
Okay, I'll make a deal with you. Hit the buzzer is a goal, but if I make it on the show, for sure another one.
All right, deal, Max. Thanks a million for joining us today. Look forward to talking to you at the gym.
Thank you, Carrot. It was a pleasure, and I had a blast.